You've used style guides before, you just haven't used a style guide that is quite so prescriptive in terms of grammar and formatting. But if you read through this style guide, and I'm going to go through it here with you just very briefly, and you comply with these requirements, you should score very well. So first of all the formatting has to be done using styles, and I've got some tutorials links here, and I also supply some tutorials in the exercises, so you'll learn how to apply styles and modify styles, and well, let me just back up there for a second. The key thing to remember is that you're only using a certain number of styles, and that they must be exactly these styles by these names. So there's one title in the document, and that's formatted as title style. You can have up to 2 levels of headings in documents, so a first level and a second level heading, and the style names are heading 1 and heading 2. All of the body paragraphs, except for vertical list, must be formatted as body text. The vertical list, if it's an ordered list, then use list bullet. And if you have a sub list within that list, you can use list bullet 2. If you do have an ordered list, you can use list number for that formatting. Okay, do not add any blank lines to format the document. We're going to do the formatting, the spacing of elements, strictly using styles, so get rid of those. If you're not seeing the blank lines, click on the Pilcrow. You'll then see the blank lines. Do not use text boxes. I want it all to be just regular text in the document. You must use the captioning tool to add captions. You're not just simply typing the captions, and you must also add cross-references to those to refer to the captions using the Word's built-in tool. So for example, here's a sentence, and at the very end, in parenthetical, is a cross-reference, and it refers to the caption placed below the figure. So in this course, captions for figures will go beneath the figure, and captions for tables will go above the table. So keep those rules in mind. Because writing to meet the needs of the reader is essential in technical communication, you cannot use back-to-back headings. You must first tell the reader the structure of your discussion before you launch into a second-level headings. You must start each paragraph with a topic sentence, and you must keep the paragraphs fairly short, about 4 sentences. You must cite sources in the text for any statements of fact that are not universal, and you must use this citation format, author and year, close to where that fact is stated. So like Robinson 2000, and because it's a textbook in this case, I'm going to give a page number. Most of your references will probably be to websites, and your formatting will look more like this one here, West 2000. For each cited source, you must also include a reference listing in the references section, and you'll want to do them exactly as shown here in the examples. Notice that I separate items. I have the author and an initial cap for the first name, the year. I'm spacing by periods, not commas. The title of the source, the publisher, in this case it's Toronto.com. It's a website, and it's available at this specific address. So study the examples, references here carefully. Make sure you do them exactly the same as you see them here. Editors spend a lot of time having to fix references that authors do differently, and there's always a temptation for editors to simply send something back and say, hey, you fix it. I want you to choose good writing over bad, by which I mean I want you to clearly indicate main clauses in your writing. So when you have an introductory statement in a sentence, in this course, comma. I want you to always add a comma after an introductory word or phrase that precedes the main clause. Now, in a lot of style guides, the requirement is that if you have more than, say, 5 words, you add a comma. I'm an engineer. I like to be precise. We're going to put commas after all introductory phrases and words. This requirement to set off introductory words and phrases also dovetails into making sentences that are easy to follow on first reading. I think many younger writers or just inexperienced writers, you don't have to be young, try to put too many thoughts into a single sentence. So you find yourself backing up, trying to figure out what the main point is. So some of the problems I will see is what I thought was a main clause is an introductory phrase. So mark that introductory phrase. Let me know where the main clause begins. Or I find an abbreviation or term that has not yet been defined. And in this course, I want to define all of the abbreviations and acronyms and initialisms, even the ones you would think I would know, like CPU, pound, app. I don't know what an app is. Give me a definition. Another problem I run into is where I encounter a pronoun and I've already forgotten what it refers to because it's 2 or 3 sentences back is where it was defined. And in particular, in this course, if you're using a demonstrative pronoun, this, that, these, those, I want you to always convert the pronoun to an adjective, as shown in the example below. I have no idea what slashes mean in the context of technical writing. People use and or, and in most cases, if you parse that sentence, the or condition makes it true. So be specific. Or I encounter a list of items and I'm uncertain if the last 2 are separate or grouped. In technical writing, we always use the Oxford comma. So look at the examples below and make sure you're always adding that Oxford comma. And then there are those things that are the rules that are just standard conventions. You introduce a list with a complete sentence that ends with a colon. So look at the examples here. This one here, to complete the project, comma. No. First of all, the introduction is not a complete sentence. It's a phrase. And it also must end with a colon. Commas, look up the rules for commas. I recommend looking at the Purdue OWL website. Just get familiar with it. It's not. And try not to misuse semicolons. Sometimes people try to use them as commas, which is incorrect, or they try to use them to introduce a list, which is a big thing to know about dashes and hyphens is that they're not the same thing. And the mistake that most writers make, in fact, you see this all the time, is that they will put spaces in front of and after dashes and hyphens, but technically there shouldn't be any space. In American English, punctuation is placed inside of the quotations. So look at a sentence like this. A topic sentence states summarizes or forecasts the main point of the paragraph. End quote, period. Well, that's incorrect. Put the punctuation inside of the quotes. English or British English, just the reverse. But this is the way that editors in America will be expecting you to punctuate. Don't use sentence fragments as sentences. Don't have subject-verb disagreements. Must agree in number. Don't use run-on sentences where you just simply jam 2 complete clauses together. Don't use comma splices, which is where you separate 2 independent clauses with just a comma. That works if you also add a coordinating conjunction and, so, or but. Similarly, if you are joining 2 clauses with a coordinating conjunction, you must have that comma in there before the coordinating conjunction. It signals to the reader that another sentence is coming up. These are joined very tightly. Avoid noun pronoun disagreement. every student should work hard if they want a good grade. It really should be every student should work hard if he or she wants a good grade. But I do give you one exception here. If you view pronouns in non-binary terms, I'll accept the usage they. But you must first, for each document, tell me that you are doing this intentionally. I just want to make sure it's not a mistake. Try to use a parallel grammatical structure throughout elements, and you can just look at the examples here where I've got this one list here, and in the left column here we have these items. The first begins with a verb, second becomes it starts with an adjective, third begins with a verb. So the way to make that parallel is just convert to verbs all across the board. And then finally, check your spelling. You know, it's so easy to check spelling now, and in particular, the problem I see many times is that students won't check the names of companies and products. For example, if you're spelling iPhone, there's only one spelling that is correct, and that's the spelling and capitalization used by Apple. So if you're looking at products, you're looking at companies, go to the website, see how they spell their names and how they capitalize their names and punctuate their names if they add punctuation in there as well. So if you simply keep a copy of this style guide with you as you're reviewing your document, you can just quickly go through and look for these items, because this is exactly the kind of stuff that I'm looking for.